Morning. Hear me rattling? I'm just looking for all my pens because I'm running a bit behind, as always. It's a bit early, isn't it? 10 o'clock. Morning, Trudie. Morning, Josephine, Mel, Ronnie, Susan, Jean, Judy. Hi, everybody. So today's the launch of Trudie's Festive Friends collection, and Phil obviously did his Facebook Live yesterday, so I know many of you will have been watching that, and he went through the whole collection with you, so I'm not going to do it to the full extent that he did yesterday because obviously things to do, places to go, etc, bags to pack. So we're just going to crack on, and you can just re-watch if you missed the beginning, but to begin with, we'll just briefly go through what there is in the collection. So it's out today, and it's a set of 7 stamps and die sets. So for the first time ever, Trudie's got stamps and coordinating dies. Those are stuck together, and they do come with an A6 magnetic sheet as well. So you can just store them just like we have here, and I'll show you mine when we get to mine, because I actually store mine a little bit differently to how Phil does, because I have to do it different to what Phil does, don't I? So so we've got the mini friends, and the mini friends is a smaller version of the bigger friends. I know I've started with that one first, but you can see it says includes 8 stamps and 8 coordinating dies. So in all of your sets, you're going to have a stamp and a coordinating die to cut them out. So no more fussy cutting. You do get a little tiny white border around the edge, which is absolutely fine, and it kind of sets it off from your background. And you'll find that the mini friends, they face a different direction to the bigger ones. So in the big ones, we've got Big Robin. There's our little Robin. We've got a little Robin there as well. And we've got some swags and some holly. And I'm gonna do this one in today's demo. Obviously, they're bigger than on the packaging. Then we've got our penguins, and these are proving to be very popular already, not surprisingly. And they've got, these are nice to hang your snowflakes off. But obviously you can use the snowflakes with whatever project you do as well, and you'll find as well across the collection that you can mix and match the penguins with some of the other embellishments on the other ones. Then we've got the donkey, and very fond of the donkey. He's absolutely gorgeous. Who'd like to have a donkey in their back garden? I definitely would. Hello, my darling. So that's those, and we've also got the manger in there, so you've got your more religious aspect in that one. This is the one that Phil did yesterday, which I was going to do today, but I'll have to do it tomorrow instead. And so you've got the daddy deer and the baby deer, and lots of kind of pine coney embellishments to go with that, which are great for kind of doing frames and wreaths. And as you saw yesterday, Phil's wreath swag was absolutely tremendous. We've got the beautiful polar bear, one of my favourites. And you've got the die there where you can actually cut out your mountains, or you can stamp your mountains instead. And you've got like a kind of a muted moon or sun, whatever you want it to be. And lots and lots and lots of trees. And then finally we've got the seal. And the seal has like an ice block. And so you can see you can pop your penguins on the ice block if you want to. You can pop the polar bear on the ice block. You've got lots of trinkety kind of embellishments here, and so they can be used all the time. And you've got all the dies to cut out all of your corners as well, and everything has got a die with it, which is absolutely beautiful. So there's 7 there. They're retailing at $24.99. There is a 10% discount on my website until tomorrow night at midnight, or while stocks last, because I won't necessarily be restocking. And you need to enter code TH for Trudie Howard, Xmas, in the discount code box at checkout. Don't put it in the note on order, put it in the discount code at checkout. Then, of course, we've got the 2 sets of papers here. We've got the cozy, which is going to go with nicely with your, as you can see, with the paper down here. We've got the reindeer, we've got the donkey, and we've got the robin. So those are your cozies. And then we've got the frosties, which are obviously going to be your polar bear, your seal, and your penguin. And then you've got the plainer papers to go with it. So they're really nice palettes. I'm drawn towards the blue and purple palette because them's my colours. But obviously this is a more traditional and it is a warmer palette. So that's Trudie's collection 2021. Really, really lovely. So let's put those to one side so I don't lose them and pull out the one I'm using, which is this one. So we are going to start by stamping our robin. Which one shall I? Let's use the squeaky one because it's smaller. So I've got a few kind of tips for you when you're actually using these. First of all, we are, Phil and I are both using the Colour Radiance alcohol markers on the shows. So you need your Silky Smooth Pure White card for alcohol markers. Which you can tell the difference between this and Pure White because you just want to kind of touch it because it's so smooth and absolutely fabulous. So you need that. So you need the proper cardstock and you need Memento ink or any other dye-based ink. So you can use your distress inks and you can, but you're going to get more of a distress finish. You're not going to get such a detailed line. You cannot actually get away with using your oxides as well, but just be a little bit careful. Right, so use that. And yes, my way of storing this is just a tad different to Mr. M's, of course, as always. So, of course, I've glued my magnetic sheet to the bottom, which he probably has, but I haven't removed the sticky dot. I've left it, so I just peel my stamps away and take my stamps off separately. That way, I know when I put my stamps back on, that they're not going to fall down over my die, so they're going to keep it completely separate. So that was my thinking behind it. So that's how I do mine. I have to be controlled. I don't do it on purpose. I really don't. So what I suggest you do is stamp everything that you want to stamp. So we're going to do our robin. Let's put him in. He's going to be cut out so we can do him at a jaunty angle. And we've got a couple of flourishes. So we've got one that's got, let me show you on the packaging. We've got one with the bow facing down. So that's obviously going to be at the bottom. And then one with the bow facing up, if you see, not facing up, but, the angle's that way and the bow goes down, and the angle's that way and the bow goes down. So instead of having one with the bow going up like that, if you stamped it twice, you're going to have the bow going the right way. I know what I mean. It's early on a Sunday morning. I can't get my head around early on a Sunday morning. But it's the only way I could fit in all the Facebook Lives this weekend without actually kind of drowning you in them. So we're stamping those together, and this is just an A6 piece of the card. So you've got plenty of room in my stamping platform. And we're going to use our Memento. Lots of tapping. I always think when we use Memento that there's not much gone on, but because it's a very I suppose it's a very detailed ink. Obviously the beauty of also using a dye ink on your stamps is that it washes off if you are that way inclined. But I'm not bothered. But of course, if you do use distress ink or an oxide, you will need to clean your stamps. So that's the only time I actually clean my stamps, is when I use an oxide or a distress ink. A good old press. And open it up. And there we go. Absolutely beautiful. Let's give it another press up there. I think I need some more ink up there. I need to re-ink, I think. Sukaniko and Ranger do the best inks, in my opinion. And you can get a re-inker. I have got a re-inker for my Memento, so I probably will re-ink that. And I have got those on my website if you need them. And I have actually asked my supplier if they will get the Versifying Claire re-inkers in, the Nocturne. And we are waiting for them still. They've just got a new website, which is a little bit challenging to find your way around. Whether it will improve or not, I don't know. Right, let's put these back, and then we're going to do some corners as well. And I'll show you what you could do if you wanted to with your corners. So we will move to the bigger stamping platform. We move to my Press to Impress, because it's easier. So obviously we're going to do corners, so we're going to do 4 corners. So we don't want 4 candles, we want 4 corners. Older people will realise that refers to. So let's butt this up into the corner and put some magnets on. I know mine don't match, Phil, but they're from different companies. And we're going to use this flourish here, this holly flourish, so we can pop it in the corner here, like that. So pretend we're not cutting these out. We are going to cut them out. And do make sure that if you're cutting them out, that you do leave enough space. Put your die down. The die around the edge is only a couple of millimetres around the white edge that you get when you die cut is only a couple of millimetres. So you don't need to worry too much. But this is just an idea for you. So let's try and ink this up. I think I put too much ink on that. Look at that splodge there. That's me being heavy-handed. Let's try again. Don't splodge, Julia. Light tapping. So that's going to go there. Okay. So then, if you want, pretend we're making a card, right? So we're going off at a tangent because we can. Because I've got all the time in the world. I think 4 candles is probably the best joke ever. That sketch was just, it's hilarious. I might have to go and watch it again because it's just, it's the 2 Ronnies, in case anybody doesn't know. It is the sketch of sketches. So obviously these aren't symmetrical corners, but it's just a way of doing your corners. We have got another one actually, which is symmetrical, which is this one. So we could have done that one in the corner. Turn it over so you can see it. We could have done that one. But I wanted to go for the one that was more foliagey, if that's a phrase. Because of course you have got your dies in your set, but don't actually get hung up on the fact that you have to use your dies. Because you don't have to use your dies if you don't want to. So let's pop that in here. So this is our 4th corner. So what you could do after this is we could pop this back in the corner again, because I want it this way, I think. Let's get rid of that, just so I don't get ink on my fingers. We could then take our robin and we could pop the robin in the centre there, like that, just like that. And we could probably take a sentiment. Pick my robin up. This is nothing to do with the demo at all. This is me going off at a tangent. We're not doing this. I prefer happy to merry because I don't drink. because if you're saying Happy New Year, you don't want to say Happy Christmas and Happy New Year. So have that there like that. This is just a quickie, just to show you could do a really quick card if you didn't want to do die cuts and layers, etc, etc, etc. And this would be flat. This would be a flat card as well. I was saying, oh look, it's got a mark there, but of course I want that there, don't I? Let's hope I haven't moved that card. But obviously you'll get the idea whether I've moved it or not, because I'm not using this anyway. Or I might at some point. So yeah, so if you matted and layered this, you can stick this on an A6 card, blank, or maybe a 5x7, maybe. That might be better because you get your mats and layers in. And then you've got your layout. So wouldn't that be fab? Just as a Christmas card. So that's without any die cutting, right? So we're not using that. Let's put these back. You notice I'm not cleaning them. Mr. Emma be having a fit right now. She's not cleaning her stamps. That hurts my eyes. She's got 2 different colour magnets. Oh, I don't give them monkeys. Doesn't bother me. Of course, Phil's bare branches die will go in the robin. That's a very good idea. So you could die cut your bare branches, die cut your robin, and pop him on top of the branch. That would look tremendous, Judy. I've just restocked those as well, so that was a good move, wasn't it? Right, now where am I at with these? Let's put this away. Which is the one I've just stamped? I don't think it really matters. I've got robins coming out of my ears now. That's the one I've just stamped. That's the one I stamped before. So you could actually just leave it like that if you wanted to. Right, let's get some colouring done. Let's put my stamps away. So you see this is just going to slot back on there. And then go back into my packaging. Which I'll probably rip at some point. Because it's a very snug fit. Because normally we leave the packaging in there. And then it just all pops in. So just be careful when you pop your stamps back in, because that'll snag on there maybe. There we go, good as new. Right, it's okay. So we're going to use our Colour Radiance markers. And as always, I'm using one of my... May I ask, where did you get the magnets? They're on my website, Veronica. I know, but I'm not going to throw it away, am I, Phil? You know, it's still got a lot of uses in it. Yes, so yes, Veronica, they're on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk. Either go into the brand section and click on crafts 2, or just search for magnets and you'll find them. And I sell them in packs of 4 or packs of 2. They're only, I don't know, they're less than £5. They're quite reasonable, but they are, yeah, easier to use than the magnets, the raw magnets on their own. So I'm using one of my, this is my Happy Planner notebook, one of my little ones, and I've got all of my notes on all of my alcohol markers in here. I've also got some of Karen's in here as well. I think it's Karen's. So I keep all of them so that if I ever want to colour it in again, and of course when I do my demos, I know exactly what colours I need. So this is the point where you want to take a screenshot. So you tell him, Sue. You tell him. So I will actually, when I do post this to the Crafting with Phil Martin, the Sentimentally Yours group page, and to my page, I will actually photograph that area there, so you'll see what I actually used. So let's start colouring in. I'm only going to do the robin. I'm not going to do the rest because it'll just take too long. And the holly leaves are very, very fine, so you'll want to take your time with them, but don't stress too much if you do go outside the lines, because you're going to die cut it anyway, so we don't want to worry about that. Sounds like there's a bird fight outside. Right, so Trudie did do I'll embarrass her now. She did do this because it's like, help, what do I use, you know? And she did do me this little chart here, which was kind of, it's like a starting point. So we are going to do this. We are going to use number 4, number 5 and number 91 for the robin's breast. And I have got one, and I'm going to refer to the one that I've already got coloured, which I'm not going to show you yet, because we'll use whichever one is actually the better one, although I probably won't die cut. Now, I'll tell you what I did as well was, and I'll do it just because I can. I've got my ECD roll of Elizabeth Craft Designs roll of tape, and I've got a spare because I don't want to run out, and it's about 4 inches wide. So I've made them into stickers. So we just pop some of this on the back. Now, in hindsight, and I'll tell you this now, even though I'm still doing it, in hindsight, it's actually probably better to do this after you've coloured in, because the alcohol hasn't got as much, it can't escape so much because it's sealed on the other side with the adhesive. So it does take a little bit longer for your alcohol to evaporate, because it can only evaporate from the front. Some of it goes down the back, but it mainly only can evaporate from the front. So in hindsight, you'll be wanting to colour in first and then put your sticker on the back, which I could have done. But what I've done with most of mine is I've got to this stage, then I've die cut, and then I've coloured in. And the reason I do that is if I haven't used a new piece of low tack tape, it's a really old piece, and if it moves, and I've already spent, I don't know, half an hour to an hour colouring in, if it moves... Sorry, Trudie. If it moves, then it does mean that you've spent all that time colouring in. So what if it moved like that? It's ruined, isn't it? So if you do that, if you actually cut it out first, if it moves, it doesn't matter. You're going to colour it in, aren't you? You're gonna colour it in afterwards. So so all you need to do is just stamp it again and cut it again. So that's why I do it that way, because I know what I'm like. So I prefer to die cut first and then colour afterwards. But you can see there, it's very easy to line your die up and actually cut it out and then colour it in, right? Or, of course, you can be brave and make sure that your low tack tape is well adhered. And I know Trudie's got something else that she knows something else that you can use. But I prefer my low tack tape. So, and also, if you want to put them in your happy planner, you've made yourself some stickers, haven't you? So I quite like that idea. Right, let's get those out of the way. Right, so let's do some colouring. Stop talking and do some colouring. So we need number 4, number 5 and number 91. So all of mine are in colour order. So I've sorted mine all out. So my reds are next to each other, and we want number 91, which is like a reddy brown. And my chart, I've got my chart. This is my chart, and you can find these on both Phil's website, the Honeypot Crafts website, and my website on the page where the product is. You can actually select on each of the pen sets, and you can actually download one of these from my website. And I suggest you actually do print it out on your Silky Smooth Colour Radiance card, because then you'll know exactly how the pens are going to react, because they will, the charts that we send you with the pens are, printed to printers, and it's not this card that they're printed on. And so your pens are going to react and look slightly different. So, yeah, and they do settle down over time, actually. They do change quite a bit. But you can see my swatches all around there. So I would suggest that you do that as well. So let's start with our breast. Don't know if this is the right way to start, but this is what we're going to do. So we're going to go number 4 first. And we're going to just get some colour on his breast using the brush end. And I'm not a colorist like Trudie. Hopefully at some point Trudie will be able to do some videos again, because she is the expert. Phil and I do it entirely differently. I think that's good again, because I'm not being contrary, but it does mean that you can see that it works different ways. So go around the beak, and you can get really fine into the fine detail with the brush. And he did say yesterday that he's going to get some bullet nibs as well, which I might find easier, because the pens I used before were bullet nibbed, because I'm quite heavy handed and always in a rush. So there's my first layer. Then we're going to go with our number 5. Just ignore the names on these, they don't really mean a lot. I think we're going to just go deep around the beak. I'm really just trying to give us some. You're supposed to fall out with it first, aren't you, Trudie? I've already fallen out with it. This is your 91, which is your darker colour. Just around the edges. And then we'll do some around the beak. And the beak's going to be kind of a browny colour, so it doesn't matter too much. So we just have a bit down there. Then we're going to go back on with our number 4. All over the whole thing. And that'll blend it in. Okay. Right, we'll leave that as it is at the moment, because I'm not sure if I've finished with that or not. Then we're going to go on to his breast. And we want some warm greys. Warm grey 1 and 3. Warm grey 1 and 3. And we want 169, which is, I think that's the putty one. Oh, drop it on the floor. Putty. So we go with the light colour first, warm grey 1. Not too worried about it going over his wings, because it's going to go on a dark colour later. Just get some on there. I know Trudie sometimes takes the blender pen in first, just to get some alcohol onto the card, because the pen obviously blends better when it's blending with other alcohol. Like I say, because I've put the sticker on the back, it won't actually blend as well as it could, or as it should. There's my warm grey 1. Then we want some warm grey 3. So I'm going to go under here, I think, which is slightly different to how I did it before. Just there and around there, outside the lines. That's what your blender pen's for. Or of course, as Phil was saying, you can take one of the lighter greys just around the edge when you've die cut it, or before you've die cut it. This is your putty. This is 169. Again, it's a little bit darker. Obviously, I'm doing this a little bit quicker than I would do normally. And then we're going to go back with our warm grey 1. I think we all get a little bit het up, I'm included as well, as to how it should look. And I think we're always our own worst critic. I probably should have done this bottom bit before I did the breast, actually. because it's the lightest colour. But I'm actually doing it in the order that I've written it down, which might not have been the order I did it in originally. So there's his kind of bottom. Then we're going to go for feathers and beak. 169 again, so this is our putty. And we're going to go with 101, 100 and 102. So it's so much easier to find them when they're actually in, you know, that the browns are all together. I would definitely recommend, if you've got all of them, that you actually sort them all out into colour order. Well, chart order. So mine are in this order. That's the order of my pens, which is numerical order up until when you go to the fluorescence and your blender and your black. So it just makes sense. So this is that putty colour. So it's going all the way over the rest of him. And on his beak. And what you find is that the lighter colours bleach out the dark colours, which is why you put them on again at the third. You can keep on going. You can kind of all the areas where I've added colour, I would go in with the medium colour again. Look at me, right outside the lines. Medium colour again, and then the lighter colour again. I wouldn't go for the darker one. So there's our putty. And then we're going for 101 next. I decided on 101 next. Trudie put 100, but I've decided on 101. It's always a kind of a personal thing. So we're going to go just around his beak, just along the darker bit there, maybe, like that. And then we're going to take this in, and I'm just going to be very random with this. And Phil's probably thinking, oh my Lord, what is she doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just enjoying myself. Then we're going to go, this is 100. Because if you think about birds, they're kind of, their feathers are, especially, I'm thinking more actually of sparrows than robins, because I never managed to study a robin that well, but the sparrows are always outside. But their feathers are just graduated in lots of different colours, aren't they? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a bit random, which I know is very uncomfortable for a lot of people. In there. And then we're going to go back with our putty, which will, 169, which will kind of dull everything down again. See, it's bleaching it out. Oh, I forgot to put extra colour in the beak. I'll do that in a sec. That's the beauty of writing it down as well. You know which colours you've used. So if you miss an area, you can go back in again. That's all blending that in. Now all the bits that where I've gone over, so this is quite handy because I've used putty down there, so it's fine if I go over there. All the bits that we've gone over, we can go back with, like I say, with the blender pen, or we can go for it with the grey around the edge. So let's go back to our 101. So I want to build it up a little bit more. And we've had some 101 in there already. So let's just do, we're going to just do this exactly the same thing again to build it up. Probably should wait for it to evaporate. This is that thing where we're falling out with it before we love it. And we've gone a little bit of 100 on the beak, because we forgot to do that earlier. try and be lighter handed than I am. I'm very heavy handed. And then we go for our 102. Just a tiny bit on the beak. And back to our 109. 169 rather, just to blend the beak out. And to make him look less scruffy. Sometimes when they look a bit scruffy, don't they, birds, especially when they've had an altercation with another bird, or an altercation with a ginger ninja. Goes by the name of Ed. I don't think he's ever had a robin. He's had a starling and he's had a blackbird, but I don't think he's ever had a robin. Okay. So I think we'll stop there. Although we will actually, I think, go back in with... Oh, let's not have that one. Let's have this one. 100. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. I want that a bit darker just up there, I think. Let's move that out again. Faff, 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 faff. There we go. Okay. So that's where we're at. It looks a mess, but there's one I did earlier. I did that in exactly the same way. Except I put the beak bit there. Why have I done that bit dark instead of that bit dark? Why have I done that? Right, we can change that though, can't we? Of course we can. Of course we can. So we can take our... Which one we do? 101. Why did I do it like that? I think I must have not been concentrating properly. Hang on a minute. There we go. Let's take... Because it's going to be darker here, isn't it? Rather than on the other end. What a plonker. Honestly, give me strength. What am I like? That's the thing though, you can go in and repair it. Let's take that putty colour again and bleed some of it out. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Doesn't look quite so stupid. Right. Okay. That's the one we're using because that's the one I've die cut. Then you can see here, I've also got, I've coloured in my, let's grab them, my swags. And I've coloured in some corners as well. I haven't coloured these in yet. These are my other hollies. But you can see here, so I've used the swags. I've used 53 for the holly, 4 for the berries, and the bow I've used 34 and 32, so there's a little bit of shading on there, and I've used the same kind of colours for those as well. But like I say, I will photograph that. Oh, I didn't do his legs. You don't need to see me do the legs. So for the legs, I've used 1 grey 6, 102 and 1 grey 3 on that. Right, is that all right? He has been digging for worms. I can't believe I did that. Well, I can actually. I can believe everything I do. Right, let's not lose these. Let's do a little bit of putting together. I'll put those away in a minute. So let's make a card. I've got all my bits here. So let's see where we're at. So we've got at the back we've got the new luster card, we've got the rich green, then we've got the new gold, and then this is one of Trudie's papers. So this is the one that's kind of graduated with like little squares all over it, or little kind of hexagons all over it. But I've embossed it with the Holly Flourish embossing folder. And I think what we'll do is we'll knock it back a bit. There's a couple of choices. What you could do is run some picket fence over the top. So that's the white distress ink. But I think what we'll do is we'll just sand it back with a sanding block, just to give the design a little bit of pop. You can see that the papers, because it's obviously white on the other side, you've got a little bit of the core showing anyway. But if we just run a sanding block over, then we'll get that design just coming out a little bit more. Be gentle with it. I'm not putting hardly any pressure on it at all. But it makes it pop. The thing is to know when to stop when you're doing this. You know what, you can stop at any point. Which I'll stop now. Yay, well done, Julia. Step away from the block. You absolutely can, yeah. Who said something about sadly what or other? Let me go and see what that comment is. Valerie Blake. Oh, why is it not letting me look at the messages? There we go. What did Valerie say? No, you... Yes, I understand you don't have all the sets of the... They're actually the colour Radiance markers, not the watercolour blending brush pens. But you could, of course, use any of your mediums to colour them in. Any at all. I'm obviously just giving you details of what we've used with the colour Radiance, that's all. So don't get het up about what mediums to use. I'm actually using what we've got on the shows. So now that pops a little bit more. Do I want to do that straight away? I don't think I do. I want to actually put my border on. Do I? No, I don't. I'll stop dithering. Oh, I hope I'm better by the time I get to the studios later on. Oh dear. Right, so we're going to just glue this in place. And this is roughly an 8x8 card, roughly. I think I'll measure it in a minute because I know that Diane likes to know what it is. Let's see. You can, of course, I know that, I think it's Joanne has actually made a card that she's just, I think it's with the reindeer, and she's just stamped and embossed it. I'm not sure if she's used silver or white. Silver, I think. And it's just a white on white card, and it just looks stunning. So again, don't get het up about colouring in, because you don't have to colour in if you don't want to. The studios take me about an hour. It depends whether any roads are closed or not, but it's about an hour by the time I've stopped off at Costa's for a coffee and sometimes filled up with petrol. In fact, it's about an hour and 10 when I do that. So this is going to go across the middle, but you can see that's too big. Now I was faffing around thinking, oh, what shall I do with that? Which bit shall I cut down? But there's a little kind of tip I can give you. Incidentally, this would work as well. You know the compendium box kit? You can absolutely do that, and that'll look fantastic as well. Just saying. I've got some on my website still. Right, so what we can do, let's just do this. Ouch! Ouch! Disappear. Right, so this is the poinsettia from the borders. And we're not going to get het up for the fact that I've actually cut that down too much, because we want it there to the end of my green there. What we're going to do is take this jobby, what's it called? Slither, that's what it's called. And we want it to there. Where do we want it to? I can't do it like Leonie does. There. Ish. So we're going to, because I like this, I like the way this finishes here on either end, and the little kind of indentation. This is actually a little bit wide, this slither, but it'll do. So keep all your little scraps. So we can just pop that in there like that. I should have trimmed it down with my guillotine earlier, but it'll be all right. And then on the other side, we're going to pop this in there like that, and then we'll get it all lined up, and we get it the right length as well, in theory. I've gone over the indentation anyway, so I don't know why I was harping about that. If I do actually cut it to the right kind of slitherability, so the right thinness, then I do actually pop it in the indentation. So now that's going to go across there like that. So we're going to glue that down as well with our Sentimentally Yours glue. Lid, it is. That's straight. Hopefully, give it a second to grab. Okay. Yep, that'll do. Then we're going to have, what we're going to do first. We're going to put the corners on first. No, let's put the robin on first. Right, so this is your largest charmed circle, cut with the rich green. So that's going to go in the back. And I must remember, because I'm only using 1mm foam tape, must remember to leave a gap for the border. So we just have it like that, and then it won't be lumpy bumpy, hopefully. Yeah, you don't want to run out of glue, especially if you're making loads and loads of Christmas cards. I mean, I know it's early, but if you've got loads to make, then it's a good time to get it. Let's have a look. I'll go slightly up rather than slap bang in the middle. That already looks fab, doesn't it? And this is another one of the backgrounds. So we are going for more of a vintage red, white, not red, white, blue. Oh, not red, white, blue. Red, gold, and green. I'm doomed, aren't I? I've got, how many hours have I got? I've got 7 hours of TV coming up over the next 2 days, and I'm not going to be making sense, am I? It's just, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Whatever. Hopefully you'll know what I mean, and you just disregard everything that comes out of my mouth. Let's see. How shall we have it? Let's have it like that. So this is your next largest of the charmed circles. Then we're going to, let's see, we're going to have our robin in the middle, just like that. I'm not putting dimension because you remember these is a sticker, because I've made myself a sticker. Where's my tweezers? There's my tweezers. So he's going to go in the centre there. forgot about my swags. Good job. Good job I thought about them there. Where's my other one? There we go. So again, that's a sticker. Put your swags on first. And then my bottom one. Try and line my bows up. Then we've got our 4 corners. Cupcakes. I love cupcakes. There might be another one, Diane. There might be, but not for a while. So here's my corners. It's a lot quicker when they're stickers. I did forget that I wanted these to be stickers, so these are a little bit bumpy because I've used thinner bits. In fact, that's why it's not sticking, isn't it? Because I forgot the other bit on the other side. I'm quite relieved I managed to get that off. So this is me forgetting I wanted to make stickers. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I die cut first for some unknown reason. That's that. Bear with me. We're coming together. We're getting there. Obviously, I only thought about stickers because of the kind of fiddly little bits here. So you can do glue, but like I say, if you're doing something in your happy planner, then stickers are the way to go. You know, not all of us have a scan and cut that we can make stickers with. So just using double-sided adhesive before you die cut is a really good way to do it. Or if you're just doing scrapbooks and things. So that's where we're at so far. So now we need a sentiment. So we're going to take... I've already got one done, but we'll do one anyway. Move that out of the way a minute. But I'm going to just use my Memento because it's exactly the same colour and I know that. And we're going to grab my sentiments. And this is, I think this is the smallest tag in the scallop tags. And we can just about fit glad tidings on. So, because the Happy Christmas is a bit big that way. So we are going to go for that. And some of the flourishes will be outside the tag, but that's fine. What have I got here? Make sure I get the S on. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? It should just be glad tiding instead of tidings. There we go. So that still kind of works. So here's one I did earlier. And I've got my reinforcer in and I've just cut it out of the rich green. And I've also got another size of the tag with one of the coordinating papers. So it's like the red one at the back, but it's out of the sort of gold colour. And we're going to just pop that, I think we're going to just pop that there. So we just offset this. I mean, it's lovely as it is, and you could just have it as it is, and then on the inside you could put yourself a sentiment. I'll decide in a second because I haven't made my mind up. What do we think? Do we think with or without? The adhesive roll, David, is normally available on the craft store when Elizabeth Craft Designs are on the TV, because it comes over from Holland. So obviously it'd be an extended delivery. I think without as well. I don't think it needs it, do you? I think it's lovely as it is. But you know, you could have that, I don't know, on a present that went with it, you know. So and don't forget that your minis from the collection will fit on the largest size of the scallop tag. You can use them on there, or you can use them on smaller cards as well. So yeah, so watch out for Elizabeth Craft Designs on the craft store if you want one of the rolls of adhesive. So there we are. There's our robin. And as I said, I will, on the inside of the card, absolutely. Or you can stamp one of the festive phrases on the inside, which would be quite nice. You could actually recut maybe the circle and pop that on the inside and have your sentiment in a smaller circle on the inside, and that'd be a nice coordinated card. So anyway, there we are. There's my demo with Trudie's collection. So don't forget that there's 10% discount on my website, juliabotscrafts.co.uk, until midnight tomorrow night, or while stocks last, and it probably is the latter. And orders will be dispatched from Friday onwards. There's a heck of a lot of orders for me to deal with, and a lot of them are quite weighty, or will be when all the card and paper arrives and all of the dies on the sheets. So I might not be able to manage to get everything to the post office on Friday, even if my order comes in time. It depends. If my order from Phil doesn't come on Friday, or if it comes late on Friday, there's no way I'm going to get everything done on Friday. So, but I will get to it as quickly as I can. And so I will be at the craft store this evening at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. with the launch of the Studio Light One Day Special, and I did the Facebook Live yesterday. And then Phil is in a Julia sandwich, so at 7 p.m. this evening, that's when he's launching this wonderful collection from Trudie. And then tomorrow I'm on at 8 for Studio Light, 9 for Trudie's collection, 12 for Studio Light, 1 for Trudie's collection, and finishing off at 4 p.m. with the Studio Light One Day Special. So don't miss out, because once the stock of all of this is gone, so on the craft store, Phil's website and my website, once the stock's gone, he won't be reordering. So that is it. Thank you very much for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will see you later on the telly box. Bye.